For over 2 decades, South Park has been one of television's greatest hits. While most long-running animated sitcoms have shown a decline in writing quality, South Park has not only kept a consistent writing standard, but arguably significantly improved over the years. Way past its 20th season, the absurd, crude, but always hilarious show somehow still manages to be relevant and craft high-quality stories. This is an effort attributed to the show's 2 creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Today, I want to look at how Stone and Parker are able to consistently create great stories for over 20 years. I want to analyze how South Park balances its philosophical conflicts, creates a strong want and cost relationship in its episodes, as well as has some of the best stories written on a crunch. And more importantly, how you can do the same in your writing. This is why you should study South Park.
Come on down to South Park and meet some friends of mine.
In my video, Your Story's Biggest Problem, I talk about the biggest pitfall that writers fall into: writing stories with black and white philosophical conflicts. Many mediocre stories have clear good guys and bad guys, where the beliefs of the good guy are clearly more advantageous or morally correct, while the beliefs of the bad guys are unquestionably wrong. Instead, writers should focus on presenting balanced pros and cons to both philosophical beliefs present in the story. South Park is a masterclass at prioritizing balanced philosophical conflict. Parker and Stone thrive in presenting 2 opposing political, social, or religious views and relentlessly making fun of both sides. In South Park, no one is a hero and no one is correct. Both views always have a set of pros and cons. This 2-sided criticism allowed for South Park to create balanced philosophical conflicts and gain its status as the ultimate both sides show. Let's take a look at Season 8, Episode 7, The Goobacks.
They took our jobs! Yeah, they took our jobs! They did!
In this episode, a group of Americans from far in the future travel back to current-day South Park. They come in search of jobs because in the future, the world has become so overpopulated that they can no longer find work, forcing them to flee to an earlier point in time. The town of South Park then has to deal with the arrival of these different-looking, non-English speaking, and all-around exotic time migrants. This episode deals with a philosophical conflict of immigrants being welcomed at all costs versus immigrants not being welcomed when inconvenient. Stone and Parker take these 2 real-life socio-political views and use a bizarre scenario of unemployed Americans from the future in order to poke fun at both sides. On one end, Parker and Stone present the pros and cons of the idea that immigrants should be welcomed at all costs. They present a pro, that welcoming immigrants is morally correct, as they have an opportunity for a better life.
You can't even imagine the kind of depression they come from. So for us, who have everything so good, to judge them is wrong. Do you understand?
On the other hand, Parker and Stone poke fun of this philosophical belief by pointing out its blind spot with a con. Immigrants may fail to adapt to their new location, which can cause unfair harm to the local people.
The boy threw the red ball, which in future speak, of course, is...
Dude, hold on. This is bullcrap. If they want to live in our time, then they should learn our language. Yeah, right.
When it comes to the other side, that immigrants should not be welcomed when inconvenient, they take the same approach. They present a pro, that avoiding immigration can protect local people's jobs. On the other hand, Parker and Stone don't pick a side. They make fun of this ideology too, with a con. By trying to push immigrants away, countries may resort to extreme and irrational actions.
We're trying to turn everyone gay so that there are no future humans. Present-day America #1! Yeah, America! Take our jobs!
If there is no clear winning belief, the audience will be engaged in the story as it becomes less and less predictable what will be the winning side in the end. When planning out your philosophical conflicts, make a pro and cons list for each one of the beliefs you want to explore. Ensure that you have 2 opposing ideas that have a balanced set of advantages as well as disadvantages. In my video, How to Create Conflict, I talk about the idea that continuous conflict can be created when characters are pursuing their want and paying heavy costs for it. Stone and Parker have systemized this want and cost dynamic with their famous writing tool, the but and therefore rule.
we can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're f***ed, basically. You got something pretty boring. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word "therefore" or "but." Right? So what I'm saying is that you come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No, it should be this happens, and therefore this happens. But this happens, therefore this happens. And that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication, to that.
That gives you the causation between each beat, and that makes that's a story.
Yeah.
This rule of thumb is a practical way to simulate the want and cost relationship. We can ensure our protagonist is following through with their want by using therefore. Meanwhile, the costs they pay for pursuing this goal are the complications that arise. We can ensure our protagonists are paying increasingly larger prices by using but. This combination of therefore and but ensures that the plot is moving forward, and with consistent complications. Let's take a look at the beginning of Season 5, Episode 4, Scott Tenorman Must Die.
I just got my first pubes.
The episode starts with Cartman having bought pubic hair from Scott Tenorman in order to show his friends that he has matured faster. But that does not work. The other kids tell Cartman that he got scammed.
Cartman, you don't buy pubes, you grow them yourself. What?
Therefore, Cartman goes to confront Scott and demands a refund.
Yes, I've come to return these pubes that I purchased, please.
But Scott does not allow the refund and humiliates Cartman. Therefore, Cartman devises an elaborate plan to get his money back from Scott. But all of Cartman's plans fail, only revealing how desperate Cartman is to outsmart Scott. Therefore, to break his spirits, Scott burns Cartman's money right in front of him. But Cartman devises a master plan to get revenge on Scott Tenorman.
Scott Tenorman will forever be known as the kid who had his wiener bitten off by a pony.
Eventually, the episode spirals into crazier and crazier plot beats, with Cartman killing Scott's parents and feeding them to him as chili.
I made you eat your parents.
Despite how absurd the show can get, none of its events feel random or out of the blue. Why? Because of the but and therefore rule. The use of therefore serves as the continuous wants that Cartman has. Every therefore is Cartman taking action to get what he wants, and every but serves as the price Cartman has to pay for pursuing his want. Every but adds complications to Cartman's situation, forcing him to adapt and change his strategy. When you're working on your outline, try using the but and therefore rule. Ensure that all of your story beats are linked through causality or complication. This will help you establish consistent want and cost conflict in your story. In my video where I wrote a screenplay in 48 hours, I aim to prove that it's possible to write a very significant amount of pages if you set a goal. Perfection is not the priority when writing a first draft. Setting deadlines will get you out of your creative blocks and force you to write your story. South Park is infamous for its never-before-seen tight production schedule. Normal animated sitcoms take about 10 months to be produced. South Park takes a mere 6 days. And a big part of this efficiency comes from how Trey and Stone set themselves tight writing deadlines in order to increase their productivity and get ideas on the page even if they are not perfect.
Can stress help comedy?
It's not that I don't think it helps comedy, but it helps writer's block for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing, is that you just squash writer's block. Because it's like, okay, well, whatever, especially on Tuesday when it's like, dude, we still have to fill all these holes, and it's like, okay, well, clock's ticking.
Right.
And it's like, well, this idea isn't very good. It's like, too bad, do it. You know what I mean? And that's just what happens.
The use of Parker and Stone's deadlines have forced them not to be precious with their writing. Every idea they have will not be perfect, and that's okay. What matters is that they are able to do their best with the time that they have each week and get the episodes done.
I always feel like, wow, I wish I had another day with this show. That's the reason that there's so many episodes of South Park we're able to get done, is because there just is a deadline and you can't keep going. Because there'd be so many shows that I'm like, no, it's not ready yet, not ready. And I would have spent 4 weeks on one show. All you do is start second guessing yourself and rewriting stuff, and it gets overthought, and it would have been 5% better.
A lot of writers start to self-edit themselves and scrutinize every single choice. In my screenplay challenge, I was also prone to rewriting my first act before I had even finished the draft. This only slowed down my progress. It was only when I focused on getting it done no matter how bad it was that I was able to be productive and actually grow as a writer. In your own writing, force yourself to get it done. Don't worry about getting your first draft right. By setting yourself a deadline, you will push through your writer's block, and you might even be able to write stories that are better than you think. And if you're interested in being able to build a personal writing process, hit your deadlines as a writer, and actually get that first draft out onto the page, then I have a video for you to watch that shows you how to quickly and consistently finish your drafts. Click the top link in the description now to watch the video. This video was written by Alberto Hallfeld, a member of the Practical Screenwriting team.